I'll tell you, just when you start feeling really happy, something like this happens. Now we don't have a place kicker. Welcome to the halftime show with the Browns up 22-7. Here's the reason why it's of concern, and I think we saw it at the very end of the half. It's either 7 points or nothing. You have no way of kicking a field goal. There's no way to kick the game-winning field goal in a close game on the road. It's going to hurt this team, and the Browns have to find a way to get sevens. And it's interesting because had I done a pregame show, which I didn't do on Friday, the thing I was going to say, sevens, not threes, sevens, not threes. Now it's sevens, no chance of threes. And here's the problem. Browns are going to go out and they're going to shop and they're going to get another kicker. This is a career pattern for Hopkins. He has had leg injuries throughout his career, soft tissue injuries and injuries that have caused him to actually be cut from teams for younger players. And as great a season as he's had with the hamstring injury, and to be very honest with you, I don't know in an indoor setting like Houston, why we weren't kicking the kickoffs through the end zone. We got burned on a big touchdown return that ended up shutting down our kicker. And with a soft tissue injury in the leg for a kicker, we may not be seeing him until if we get into the playoffs. So we need another kicker. Other than that, I mean, this game is not so different than what we, I was thinking the same thing, Jim, to be very honest with you, but they kicked one through the end zone. One of ours was short to the 10-yard line. The other one was just a little bit in front of the goal line. So I don't know what's going on. Is it a league initiative? I would believe damn near anything, but this is like, no one else can kick. We don't carry more than one kicker, and Bojarquez can kick ground balls. That's what we found out. But again, the points that we give up, it's not our defense's fault, right? Special teams let us down on that one, but the defense has done tremendously well. They are running the Case Keenum offense, and the problem is, we had an opportunity to go up, with possessions 21-0 and to really put them 3 touchdowns behind, which is essential when you have a quarterback like Keenum, who is just a game manager who's going to move the ball up the field slowly but surely, and he's not escapable. Don't be surprised to see Davis Mills in the second half of the game. The young man has a strong arm, and he's fast and is escapable. And that would be what I would do if I were D'Amico Ryans, who, of course, is a defensive coach. So I don't know, what the deal is. The other thing is we're not running the football, and this has been ongoing against every team that we're playing, and it puts more and more pressure on Flacco. And now Flacco doesn't even have the field position game to play because there's no threat of D-Hop kicking big field goals to win games. This we're going to need, I believe, to score another touchdown in this game in order to win the game on the road. Just a prediction. And again, when you're forced to do what Flacco did at the end of the first half, that's when the mistakes happen. That's when the interceptions happen. And I agree, Jim. Case Keenum is underarmed. And that was the case when he was in Cleveland. Ever since I've seen him play, he's a guy who will throw the ball crossing patterns over the middle. He's not good outside of the numbers, and he's certainly not good downfield deep. The other thing that he's not good at is scrambling, as we found out. Again, was the interception on Goodwin? Goodwin is not a guy with blood clots who's going to fight for the ball. He's not a physical receiver. And that throw had no chance of success. And I really, could he have prevented the guy from picking it off? Maybe, but there was nowhere to go with that. And that's the one pattern that he runs is a curved fly pattern. So that's what you have. There's so much the team needs to do this half, and to make up for the lack of the possibility of field goals, the first thing is you've got to add time of possession to your offense, because we've been striking quick in this game with long passes. Not that I'm complaining about it, but the more clock you use against this team, the better off you're going to be to kind of shorten this half. Because if we're just back in pass formation and we do 3 and outs, it's going to give the ball back to them many more times than we need to. It's hard to do this without a running game, but we're going to have to figure out a way. So far, it's been strictly downfield passing. We got to integrate screens, draws, whatever it takes, trap plays. I'm not going to say trick plays, because if I wish that into existence, then Kevin Stefanski will go ballistic with those stupid things. And I know people are going to wonder, can Hopkins kick at an emergency? You saw what happened. He tumbled to the ground. He pulled a hamstring. He's of no value as a kicker right now. Possibly, I don't know if they shoot him up with something in the locker room. I don't know. Maybe he could kick a 28-yard field goal. I really don't know. We've dominated the game in every way we could dominate the game, and we're a better football team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Martin Emerson's having a tough time out there. They got their eyes on him now, as far as him using his hands far too much. James Hudson III had his typical holding call, and other than that, it's all Amari Cooper. And and Njoku, the last touchdown, and thank you, Mark Ross, for clarifying. It is his left leg, which is his plant leg. Any way you look at it, Mark, it ain't good. That last throw to Njoku in the end zone was an incredibly placed rope that rivals the one from the week before that he threw to Amari Cooper on the sidelines that ended up as a touchdown. A remarkable accuracy on those throws and a great all-hands catch by Njoku. And again, this is an interesting point that Jim brings up. Number 2 on defense for yards per carry against rushing. You can tell that this is a defensively coached team. And the biggest news for Houston is that they got that touchdown off the kickoff, because there's been nothing else for them. And I imagine they're going to, if I were them, I would take a shot with the second string quarterback. This has been the year of the extended quarterback. And if you can work the field and stretch the field against somebody, more things will open up for you with the compacted field. And I've complained about this with the Browns in the past. It's very hard with Case Keenum as a game managing quarterback to get the ball down the field with any regularity. And any mistakes that you make, any holding calls or procedure calls, are going to be magnified simply because he isn't a guy who's going to get a 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13. He's not that kind of guy. It's interesting, Bronk. The game doesn't stand still, though. We have a second half to play, and anything is humanly possible. And this is the road, and you don't want to get the road team back. They're going to have the ball because we lost yet another coin toss. And, we'll see. We're going to see if it's Davis Mills coming out in the second half. Ron, keep scoring. There's only one way to score, and that's going to be touchdowns. And that's tough when you don't have a running game. It's really going to be hard. They're going to be sitting back in pass defense, because if their front four is able to shut down our running game, they're living in our backfield. It's going to make it very, very difficult to run clock and very difficult to get the ball down the field. and to make big plays. Again, the more ball possession that we can play, it's going to matter because we got to get minutes off of the clock and get out of here with a win so that we can get a kicker on this roster and hope that he can get the job done. I found it not so humorous, but kind of sad that Cade York actually was called up and was going to be the kicker for the New York Giants. But once that happened, he injured his hamstring and he's gone for the year on injured reserve. So don't worry, it can't be him. But we're going to end up having to get a kicker. And, and there are still all kinds of injuries going on in the field. And it's scary when anyone goes down. A few have hit Houston. Houston has to go for everything in this half. It's why I think we're going to see the backup quarterback, because they've got to do something to push the ball down the field. They got to get the ball into Nico's hands. Collins is their main receiver, and they haven't done it yet. And again, we're at a disadvantage if we don't have the ability just to, if we get turnovers given to us by our defense, we have to score 7 points. It's not like we can, play the field position game, take some time off the clock and kick 3. And hey, we're already ahead by 15. If we can just get a couple of threes, we're, in. It isn't like that. So we're going to see what happens in the second half of the game. I'll be with you right after the game on the Moohead Radio postgame show. Let's hope that the Browns can hang in there and get the job done. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and I'll see you right after the game. Until then, hasta la vista, Pastor Heads. Go Browns.